Hello everyone, it's me, DoD DarthNox, here to present to you a Japanese tier list. It's gonna be in two parts, a tier list of Japanese MIF units and the tier list of Japanese human units. Without further ado, let's begin. And as you may know, I finished 4th in the Jerbost Japanese joust, so I kinda know a thing or two about Japanese. So let's begin. So first I'm gonna do the Japanese human units. So we can start with from the top to the bottom. So in my personal experience, the Bushi is really good. It's like a better it's an Arcus that you already have in classical age. It's really good at dealing, like it has an amazing 8 multiplier against the um, against Smith units. It has 17 range. It has 18 range, so it's amazing. Like it kills Smith units like this, like it's really easily, and that's why it's really good for sniping Smith units in the back. It's also really good about killing like Smith units in general, and that's its job. It also, because it's a hero, it does get any line upgrades, but it gets better in when you get to heroic age by itself. It's really good. The second is the daimyo. I personally don't really make daimyos that much because it's a cavalry unit and cav gets countered quite easily. It is fast though. It's not really that fast. It's 5.5 speed, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So it gets to MIF units relatively easily, but it doesn't have that much HP, and it gets killed by anti-cavalry. So that's why I put it in A tier, and you also don't have it until heroic age, which is a big minus for it. And with Tsukuyomi, because you get extra bonus damage for cavalry, it's slightly better. But overall, I think it's worse than Bushi. And next things are the Miko. I mean, I don't really know where to put them because they are both. They can heal. You make them to get favor. They are S tier, yeah. Okay. They do have a big MIF unit multiplier. They deal decent damage and they can heal their units for free. So if you like lose a fight or win a fight, or like someone's raiding you, you just pull a Miko from the shrine that you have. You can have 2 shrines in your like main base, and you just use your 2 Miko to defend, and you can use those Mikos like to heal your units after the fight, or after the raid, or during the raid to save them so they don't die. It's an amazing unit if it's used well. Um, it's so I don't think it deserves anything less than S tier. So now Naginata Riders. Naginata Rider is a really good unit. It's it's in a sense very similar to Raiding Cavalry because both it and Raiding Cavalry has 1.75 uh, against archers. So they both are really good at killing archers. It is really good at killing archers. It's 6 speed with the fox. It's 6.3 speed. It's really great at trading. Uh, it's a really good unit overall, and it should be made. People have been making it more often. At the beginning, okay, it was just samurai spam fest. So I personally think that they are really good. And you always got to think into the account that if you are playing Japan, all of your units are medium. All of your units are hero heavy. You don't need to invest into tacking into them. So that's one of the reasons why I think that Japan is so versatile, because every single unit you make is going to be at max techs. If you're not counting the uh, the god technologies, the minor god technologies. So I think it is an A tier, easily A tier as well. Okay, now next we have the Sage guy. I personally, before release, I wasn't a big I wasn't really a big fan of this guy because he doesn't deal that he does do a lot of damage. He also has divine damage, so he's really good at fighting as well, not just sieging. But he doesn't have that high of siege damage. Not siege damage, but pierce armor, so he dies to buildings. Like, if you have a fully upgraded fortress, like, you can't send like 2 of these guys to siege a fortress because they're gonna die. You need to send like 5 of them, and even then, like 2 will die. So for that reason, like, they're not that good in being like side siege, uh, but they are really good in armies. And after you win a fight or while you're fighting under a building, you can have these guys siege a building uh, while your rest of your army is fighting. So it's really amazing, actually. It's a really amazing unit to use because it helps you win the fight as well, much more than other siege units because it has AoE unit attack and it has divine damage. So it's a really amazing unit. I think it's A tier because it's only in Mythic Age, but it's a really amazing unit. Then there's Onamusha. Onamusha is, I think, the best hero for killing myth units that are not ranged in this game. The special attack almost one-shots every single melee myth unit. And it gives you so much XP that it's insane. Like, you just make 2 of these guys against like a guy who went Freya or any other minor god, like against some Minotaurs or whatever, Cyclops, and like, this guy is just so insane. 2 of them one-shot any myth unit, and it gives you so much XP, it's not even funny. These guys are insane at dealing with myth units. Personally, I would put let's actually put them like in order, like how good do you think they are. I think that these guys are better than this. uh, I think that these guys are better than this, and I think that that Miko, if used well for healing and everything, is the best value that you can get. Okay, now on for the Scorpion thingy. I don't know how to feel about because it is actually amazing. It is probably one of the best siege units to help you win a fight while you're fighting. It can be annoying if you're like using it to siege exclusively because you can't just click on a town center and it's gonna shoot over like a palace, or he's gonna shoot over like 2 walls and farms and everything. He's gonna be hitting a farm before it gets to the town center. He's gonna be hitting a wall before it gets to the town center. He's gonna be hitting everything that's in front of it before he starts hitting the building you want destroyed. So it can be kinda annoying because of that, but because it has such a big value in fights as well, because it deals pierce damage to everything that it hits in line. It's really amazing, and I think like this unit is just A tier on its own. I think it's better than the Riders, and I think it's better than all the other guys here. Of course, then we have the Samurai. Samurai are the best infantry unit in the game, I think. There's no question about it, and I'd put it in the S tier as well. Every single Japanese god, not Japanese, Japanese major god, can go through some minor gods that give you buffs to your infantry, which in turn buffs your samurai, and the samurai are just really, really good. They murder infantry. They also win against any cavalry for almost any cavalry for the cost, especially if you get some upgrades for them. They're just really, really insane. They're really hard to deal with for a lot of saves. Probably the best way to deal with them are with Norse, because Norse counter everything basically. They have a really, really good way to deal with the next unit as well, which others probably don't have, which is the Shinobi. I personally think the Shinobi is an A tier unit. It's I think like I should put it somewhere around here. Against some civs, the Shinobi are really bad. Against Norse, they are really useless. But against everything else, they are really good, because they absolutely murder the archers. If you go through good minor gods, they also get the same upgrades that samurai have, because most of the upgrades are just like infantry upgrades, not specific samurai. So you can have like lifesteal on them, you have more HP on them in classical and heroic age. They're just a really, really good unit. They're with their ability, they get really fast, so they can have even chase. If your opponent isn't paying attention, they can get close to chariot archers or the Japanese Yumi cavalry archer. I'm not sure what's the actual name of the unit. Yumi horse archer, I think. Yeah, Yumi horse archer. It can like chase them down. Like if your opponent isn't like constantly kiting, the moment you get cast the ability, like if he tries to run away, you'll catch it and kill a couple units. It's really good. I think like it's easily one of the best. It's basically a Huskar on steroids. Okay, then I am not sure if we should count this guy, because I guess I will count him. He is. It's the Shogun. When you upgrade the Daimyo with your god power, this guy turns into the Shogun, who has more HP, more damage, more everything, and every 100 damage that he deals, he summons a samurai. I'm not sure how to rate him, because he is a god power. He's better than everything, because he's just better than everything, but he is a god power. So you need to equal his god power his power compared to other god powers. I guess I'll just put him in the S tier for now, because he is a really strong unit, and if he lives long enough, if you don't have enough like archers that can like upgrade toxotes or something that can just like kill him while he's walking, he just gets so much value, it's insane. Okay, then we have the Yari Spearmen. These guys are a unit of all time, personally. They are really good at dealing with they're kind of like herdmen. If herdmen were better against um, uh, dealing against everything that's not cavalry, but being the same against cavalry. So they're actually really good, and they get the improvements from all the upgrades that increase like infantry health or infantry lifesteal. So if someone is going for cavalry, like an Odin player, uh, these guys are really, really good. So I think that they are an A tier unit. I personally will put them here. They have a really good value. And then we are only left with the archers. We have the Yumi archer and the Yumi horse archer. Personally, in this game, a lot of archers are very underwhelming, and the Yumi archers are kind of in that same boat. They are really good. They have some downsides. For example, they have a really high initial attack animation. For example, they have 1.5 attack speed, so they attack once every 1.5 seconds. But compared to some other units that have like even longer attack speed, they have a really big wind up And because they have a really big windup, you can't kite as much. So they're really good if they're like standing still and attacking, or in fights, for example, in fights. But if you need to kite, like if your front line dies and you need to run away, you can't deal any damage while running away. So they are actually really good if you're not fucking up with your army and losing the fight that you need to run away from. So if you're like just standing your ground and fighting, they are really good. They are probably one of the best archers, especially if you get like upgrades for them. You can get like they can be 10% cheaper. They can be 10% more damage with one more range. But because there are situations where they are not that good and the archers in this game are generally not amazing, I put them in B tier. However, our next unit doesn't have that problems because it has one attack interval and it actually has the really big first attack speed, first attack animation. So it can really kite really well. Not only can it kite really well, it doesn't have any multipliers, so it's really good against everything that it attacks. So it has really big damage overall. It also deals it has a lot of upgrades for it if you go through right minor through right gods, and it's really fast. It's basically a chariot archer if chariot archer had a lower range, but had more universal damage instead of just having a multiplier against infantry. So I personally think that this unit is really insane. I think it's also A tier. It's probably better than Naginata Riders, in my opinion, if you can get to them, and if you go through right minor gods. So that's my tier list. Japan has overall, I think, really amazing units. Probably the only one that's lacking is the archer, but like archers are lacking in most other civs. And all of these guys do their job really well, and that's about it. They do everything that they're supposed to do for the units that they are. Okay, now let's do the tier list for the MIF units. Okay, for the MIF units, first we'll start with the Asura. Asura is an easy S tier MIF unit. It's really strong. It has AoE damage on its basic attacks. It deals divine damage as well as hack, I think. It has a range attack that is basically an ability that shoots every couple of seconds, and for that the unit doesn't even need to stand still. It just like fires itself, just like the Nesha rings from Chinese god, from Chinese Wuxi. So it's basically a really amazing MIF unit. Provides a lot of value on its own. The free MIF unit, and even if you can make a couple of them, they can like flatten opponent's armies if he doesn't have enough heroes to deal with them. And if you have the resurrection tree from the classical age, like you can just resurrect them infinitely, and it's clearly insane. Then we have the water myth units in the heroic age. I don't know. I think that it's a really good myth unit, but it's worse than Scylla. I'm not sure how well it compares to Kraken. It has that like it burrows, it goes under the sea and then it pops up and deals damage and pushes the ships away. But the Kraken insta kills one ship, so I'm not sure how well it compares to the Kraken and to the Scylla. But it is a really good myth unit for the water, and I think like it's a B tier. Then we have the Spider Lady. People don't like this mission. They think it's really weak. However, this thing has a special attack that deals 150 damage to one unit that it picks up. And this myth unit murders Cairo Ballistas in one attack. No way to counter it. It just kills a Cairo Ballista. And I think that people have been using it to just like drop, you know, attack one infantry unit. Like you just attack, move, and attacks whatever's in front of it. They're not microing it to kill units immediately, because you can send this guy to an archer or whatever, and it's just instantly dead. There's no counter to it. So it's better than people think. I think it's better than people are saying. It's definitely not D tier, but I don't think it's an amazing myth unit. And its upgrade is kinda nothing special, just that it deals more damage. And I think that it's a C tier unit. Then we have the Undying Weasel. This thing, if you get you get just one more, you start with one, you get the second one, and then you get the upgrade, so that they deal more damage. You basically have infinite raiding with the two of them. If you get two of them to cast their special attack on a group of villagers, all the villagers die. You can kill 10 villagers with just two of them. These guys are insane. And I think it's my opinion, with the combination with the god power that this minor god gives you, and getting its upgrade, and just getting one more, so it's like 32 favor investment. You basically have like infinite raiding, infinite value forever, you know. It's an insane myth unit in combination with the god power that you get from it. And I think it is easily S tier. It's probably the best myth unit in the Japanese pantheon. Then we have the Kitsune. Kitsune is more of a support unit. It has like 7.5 damage per attack in classical age. It moves really fast, and the best way to use it is to either speed up your Kamaitachi or to speed up your Naginata riders for raiding. And that's pretty much what it does. It supports your units. It's an 8 tier. It's a support myth unit. It doesn't really have much to do on its own, but as a support, it's really great. Then we have the Oni. Oni are kind of like mountain giants that are slightly better at fighting. They're mountain giants. They have the special attack where they get attack speed or something. They get an attack boost steroid. They are really good siege unit as well. They have a lot of crash damage and attack damage, so they are really good at killing buildings as well. But I feel like the god power in there is kind of underwhelming and hard to use, the gust god power. But on its own, it's a B tier unit. So I think that's where it should be. It's middle of the pack. Now we have the bird, the mythical age bird. This thing is really good. It summons a couple of wretches on the ground. It's probably one of the best raiding units because it's flying. It's a flying unit, and it summons like mini things on the ground that deal extra damage other than itself. So if you get like two of them, and you can basically clean up a gold mine with just two of them really quickly. And the opponent, if he starts like running away, like he still has like those things on the ground to deal with, like those wretches. I think it's an easiest A tier. Then we have the lightning wolves, which are really good. They're really fast. They have a really good ability, which is basically like a shockwave from Oranos. It just sends the units flying, deals divine damage. It's a really good myth unit. It's really good for raiding as well. If you get like two of them, or even one, like they can like just murder a gold mine. I think it's an easiest tier. Then we have these guys. I don't think that these guys are that good. They have a gimmick where when they die, they respawn. If you get that upgrade, they will respawn 2 times, so one more. And each time when they respawn, they're better. They have an AoE damage to their attacks, and they have an ability where they fear the opponents, like the units start running away. These guys, it's it's an interesting thing because like they have a big value because they keep respawning, but they respawn from the temple. So after your one guy dies in a fight, it's gonna take him a while to rejoin the fight because they're not really the fastest smith units. And uh, like the fearing thing is good, but then I don't know. It just feel that it doesn't feel that good to use because you need to invest into making a couple of them, and you need to invest into getting the upgrade for them, so that like even if they die, they resurrect and deal more damage later. So you need to be losing them to get more use because they'll be better later. Like it's not that good, I think. And then we have the Tengu. Tengus recently, in the last patch, got a really insane buff. They now deal 20 damage per attack. They got a really insane buff to the damage, and they can also jump over everything. And I think that right now they're like just better Anubites. They are really tanky, and not only are they really tanky, they have an insane damage now. They're easily S tier at the moment. If someone says otherwise, they're lying, or they have their own agenda to uh, to protect, so they can keep Japanese insanely overpowered. Then we have the Omibozu, the Japanese mythic age water myth unit, which can walk on land, and it can teleport from any water source to a different water source that you see. So you need to have vision of a water source to teleport. You can't just teleport into the fog, into a fog of war. These guys are really, really good, and one of the reasons why they're A tier, maybe let's put them in the top of the A tier. These guys have AoE damage. They can teleport through water. So why are they so insane? Well, they're so insane because they walk on land. So even on like water maps, where I'm not on water maps, but on the land maps where you have water, you get to Mythic Age. You want to drop a dock because this guy can like come from your base to your opponent's base. Like you don't need to build it in. They can just teleport, and they have AOE, and it's basically one myth unit, which is really powerful, coming to your aid in the land battles for free, for nothing. So I think that these guys are definitely A tier. They're really good. And then we have the fire wheels. I personally think that this is the most underwhelming myth unit. They don't really have that much of a damage. They deal crash damage, and they have a burn. You can upgrade them so they have more AoE and more burn, but it's not really that big. They don't really have that long range. They're pretty good at killing buildings. They have really good siege damage, but that doesn't matter if you can't get if you don't win a fight to be able to siege, And they're easy to be sniped because their range is really low. So those guys are kind of in a really, really bad spot at the moment. They don't really have a good identity because they're really hard to get to. You need to invest into getting a couple of them so you can siege. You need to invest into getting their upgrade, and they don't really help you that much to win the fights. So you're basically dumping resources in Classical Age to siege, when if you don't win a fight, you won't be able to siege, and that doesn't it doesn't help you like get the lead to be able to siege, in the early game, because it's bad in fights. So I think that this myth unit definitely needs some help in the future, maybe some slight adjustment or rework or something, so it can do its job better. And that's my myth unit tier list. A lot of really good myth units, and then some myth units at the bottom, but most of them are really, really, really good. And that's about it, and see you guys next time.